The first quarterly update for Visions of Eternity just dropped, and it brings some long-awaited changes to raids and strikes, some legendary new rewards and Wizards Vault updates, and finally, fashion templates. But first, this video was made possible thanks to support from ArenaNet, so thank you, ArenaNet. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. If you haven't heard, strikes and raids are getting smushed together, and they're all going to be called raids now. You see, ArenaNet has been trying to make raids happen for a while, and strikes were originally intended to sort of help bridge the gap there for players. But a lot of people just played strikes without ever getting into raiding, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? I also think with all the refugees coming over from other MMOs, ArenaNet has realized that Guild Wars 2 is in a fairly good position to become a pretty dominant force in the MMO market. But doing so will require a stronger endgame system, and I think the changes today are probably the first steps that we've seen to address that. If you visit the Aerodrome now, it'll look a little different. There's now one big super portal, and when you interact with it, it pops a brand new UI panel that has a lot to cover, but it lets you jump to a specific boss or encounter within a raid. That's right, Glenna. Better start warming up those chevre legs and walking through the stronghold, because we're just gonna click on Keep Construct now. The interface is pretty easy to intuit. You pick a raid from the list on the left, and there are icons showing which is emboldened for the week and which has Call of the Mist for the week. And these icons show how many and what types of encounters are in each raid. And reading between the lines, that means you can also just look for the ones with a single boss icon here if you're after the encounters formerly known as strikes. When you select a raid, it'll give you a brief story description and a difficulty score. And I think this is probably more for, I'll call them old school raids, but you can hover over this icon for additional details like what masteries are required. Then the best part of this whole thing, this group of buttons along the bottom here to select a specific encounter. Also of note, raid encounters with challenge modes get a leaderboard, which you can access by right-clicking on its button. Those leaderboards will periodically be reset, by the way, so you won't always have to have Raid God stuck at the top. This is a new title, by the way. And then to enter the encounter, the leader just needs to select one and click enter. And one more thing. There's always one more thing, right? Now, when you want to switch raids, it'll save you the step of going back to the Aerodrome. You do still have to lay rift to your final destination, but not bad, ArenaNet. Also, I can't show it, and I'll avoid naming it because it's kind of spoilery, but this update does add a new raid encounter in Kastora. When you're ready to check it out, just scroll to the bottom of the list. There's more for raids in general, though. Like Fractal saw a few months back, Quickplay is also coming to raids, with a bit of an asterisk. Initially, the raids available for Quickplay are all X strikes. Those were chosen as they offer a balance between not having high DPS checks that might demand more intentional squad composition, and being difficult enough that they'll require players to pay attention to mechanics and do more than just press 1. As you can expect, Quickplay for raids works pretty much the same as it does for Fractals. It effectively takes any decision-making out of the process of assembling a quick group of players and then dumps them into one of those hand-picked encounters. From the LFG panel, just click the Quick Play button to queue up for one, and it will automatically join you with other players who are doing the same. And again, I didn't get a chance to try this, but I believe it'll work like Fractals, where you can also manually assemble a squad and then hit the Quick Play button to jump into a raid while taking the other benefits of Quick Play. You'll get some boons that should make these encounters more achievable for basically any group. And running quick play raids will dump rewards on you. And believe me, there is plenty here for the Chronically Online. ArenaNet says quick play raids are the primary way of unlocking relics for this release. Daily strike achievements are getting replaced with raid boss bounties, and there are also weekly achievements that will give you more mag shards and allies. So in addition to getting those currencies directly from raiding, running quick play raids will progress that achievement and give you even more. There are also some new unique rewards like the Doom Skyscale skin and a new Deimos infusion, which can only come from raids. And be sure to chat with a new merchant in the Aerodrome where you'll find a bunch of new items. I'm pretty happy about these magnetite fed food and utility primers, and now you can even buy upgrades for the Aerodrome just like Eye of the North. Now let's talk about some of the other updates to rewards we're getting today. First, the Wizards Vault is getting something of a balance patch, but it's pretty minor. Some of the unlimited items are being capped or removed completely since they're not exactly good for the economic balance in the game, but that's about it. Of course, we're also getting some new rewards here today, like a Bag Slaw expansion, the rest of the Seaside Scholar set, and a new Toxin Shell weapon set, and a new Vault Dispatch quest. This one will get you matching Coral Heart sword and staff skins, which have this really cool bloom effect. I don't yet know what the actual collection is like, but if it's like the Falling Star collection, it should be fairly short and sweet. The weekly objective system is getting a slight tweak too. Instead of letting you select between PvE, PvP, or World v World, you can specify which of those game modes you want to track for the daily, weekly, and seasonal achievements separately. Sometimes when these updates drop, there are just so many new skins, sets, and rewards that even writing down notes for myself, I know I'm not covering them all. So definitely check out the Wizards Vault refresh today because it's a big one. And saving the best reward for last, we also get a new legendary ring. I'll just go ahead and lay it all out right here. It's acquired through PvE, you can make 2 of them, they do have visual effects, and those visual effects do stack if you have 2. What visual effects, you may ask? Well, if you've visited Castora yet, you can probably guess. Oh, also works underwater because of course it does. I currently have a painfully single coalescence, so I'll be starting this collection today probably. Finally, I think a lot of players are most excited about the new fashion template system today. This gives you a way to create, save, and swap between cosmetic templates on the fly. And this is available to everyone. It's not gated behind an expansion or even purchasing the core game. It's just a free quality of life improvement that everyone gets. On your hero panel, you'll find the new fashion tab, and this is where you'll find both the wardrobe and tools buttons. Wardrobe is probably pretty self-explanatory, but tools is where you can set skins for your gathering tools because, yep, those count too. There is still the old dyes tab since that's needed for things like mounts still. ArenaNet says they plan on moving mounts, gliders, and magic doors to the wardrobe tab eventually. Otherwise, you can actually set the dyes on your equipment through the wardrobe tab. So let's take a look over at that tab because that's really where the meat and potatoes is. You just set up your cosmetics how you want them, just like before, then select a tab and click apply to swap them. Only now you have the option to save your cosmetic build out to a template tab. It'll consume transmutation charges the first time you save a template, but then applying it in the future won't use them. And for legendary equipment, those won't consume transmutation charges ever. You'll also get 2 tabs for free, just like build and equipment tabs, and you can also use chat codes to save them or organize them manually if you want to be old school or avoid purchasing more tabs. And knowing this community, I expect it won't be long until there's websites where you can share and browse templates thanks to features like these. The devs built the system they want to use themselves, and it shows. There's even a bunch of small quality of life touches sprinkled around here too. Like you can right-click single items inside a template to apply that look without taking the whole template. And if you right-click the weapon swap button to change build and equipment templates quickly, there's now a 3rd column for fashion templates. And hovering over them gives you a preview of the equipment and the dyes on that template. You can even set hotkeys for these, by the way. Now, if you're the kind of person who runs multiple builds but wants to always have the same appearance, there is an option to apply a specific fashion template on equipment swap. So if you're leveling or swapping builds a lot, you won't have to apply your favorite template every time. One thing of note is that weapons are kind of half included in fashion templates, and that's just because of how different they are from regular equipment. Think of it like this. You can swap between 100 different helmets, but they're always helmets, so it's easy for the fashion system to handle. But with weapons, you can swap between multiple types of weapons, and each type can have hundreds of skins. In user interface design, this is what we call a rock and a hard place. No biggie, just something to be aware of. Couple other quick notes on fashion templates. Infusions aren't part of this, and not for lack of trying. Infusions are just weird in how they're coded into the game, and they're too deeply integrated into the actual equipment system so that bringing them into the fashion system might just be more work than it's worth. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather the devs use their time making cooler script. So that's a concession I won't hold against them. Absent from today's update is open world and story, which honestly, I'm not mad about. I am really eager to continue the story, but ArenaNet said holding off on this allowed them to focus on really polishing these big quality of life features. And frankly, I'm fine with this, and I agree with it, because I would much rather have fewer features that are better implemented than a bunch of features that aren't. Visions of Eternity's first quarterly release brings us a total overhaul to strikes and raids, a complete fashion template system, a new legendary, too many rewards, achievements, and skins to name, and quality of life improvements all over. If you haven't picked up Visions at all yet, I do have an affiliate link down below for it. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does tell ArenaNet to give me one gentle forehead kiss. And I guess it supports the channel too. I think this is looking pretty good for the first update here, making this expansion 2 for 2 for me. But who cares what I think? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Say hi if you see me in a quick play raid, and as always, thanks for watching.